Good afternoon all. Yesterday we had completed the 19th chapter at the end portion disorders of respiratory system. Now today we will learn with the 20th chapter. Movement and locomotion. See, each and every organism has affinity to move or locomote from one place to another place. So, first let us discuss with the introduction of the locomotion and movement. First of all, what is the meaning of movement? What is movement? See, changing in the position of part of the body without changing the position of the body. We can't change the position of the body, but we change the position of part of the body. Just for example, tongue movement, here if we form the list of the movement, much more longer list is formed, but tongue movement, lip movement, eyelid movement, neck movement like that, upper limb movement, lower limb movement, this is known as movement. So in the movement means we change the position of the part of the body without changing in the position of the body. Just for example, you are writing, you are moving the neck, you are moving the eyes, fine. So this is known as movement. Next is locomotion. So before taking this in detail, movement is, let me tell you, movement is voluntary or involuntary. Suppose example, movement is seen in the heart muscles. Movement is seen in the heart muscles known as involuntary movement. Okay, so for example, upper limb movement, lower limb movement. Yes, eyelid movement. Eyelid movement is voluntary as well as involuntary both. Sometimes, if we concentrate at other region, fine. So at that time, eyelid movement is involuntary. Fine, but voluntarily we move the eyelid also. Okay, so these many examples are there. So I hope you understand the meaning of the movement. We are not yet going deep in this portion. Fine. Now, locomotion. Organism moves from one place to another place by changing in the position of the body. Fine. Organism moves from one place to another place by changing in the position of the body. For example, yes, you are right. For example, running, jumping, running, jumping, swimming, flying, walking. Okay? Etc. are the examples of the locomotion. But, dear all students, remember that locomotion is voluntary, finally. Locomotion is due to, yes, locomotion is due to mixture of so many movements. Okay? But locomotion is voluntary. All these type of the locomotion is voluntary in nature. Then, next point, you know that plants show movement only. So you had learned this in the 10th standard that two types of movement, tropism and nestism. So plant shows the movement only, whereas animal shows locomotion and movement both. Fine. Now, in some animals you have observed see, each and every animal require different structures for movement as well as locomotion. Just for example, Hydra. Hydra belonging to Coelenterata. It consists tentacles. Amoeba, false leg, pseudopodia. Paramecium, you know that, shoe-shaped cell. It consists cilia for movement as well as locomotion, and Euglena consists flagella for movement and locomotion. Fine. So different animals have different organisms have different structures for movement as well as locomotion. After communication with so many movements, locomotion is possible. Just for example, I am walking, fine. So upper limb, lower limb movement, okay, body balance, all this type of the phenomenon required there. So locomotion is a mixture of so many movements. Locomotion is not possible without the movement. Just think about that. If we are unable to move upper limb as well as lower limb, so we are unable to locomote. So Locomotion has very close relation to movement, or movement has very close relation to locomotion. So it is very difficult to study locomotion and movement separately. So when we study the movement, locomotion is included there. When we study the locomotion, movement is also there. So now you read this sentence carefully and try to understand it. All the locomotions are movement, but all the movements are not locomotion. Again, all the locomotions are movement, but all the movements are not locomotion. Fine. So animal perform the movement as well as locomotion for gathering the food, escape from prey, fine, escape from enemy, to capture the prey, to maintain its habitat, to obtain the new habitat, or for reproduction. For so many reasons, animal perform movement as well as locomotion. Fine. Let us discuss from textbook. Movement is one of the significant features of living beings. Animals and plants exhibit wide range of movements. Streaming of protoplasm. Streaming of protoplasm, that is known as cyclosis. Streaming of the protoplasm, that is known as cyclosis. It is seen in the unicellular organisms like amoeba. This is the very simplest form of the movement. Movement of cilia, flagella and tentacles are shown by many organisms. Human beings can move limbs, jaws. Yes, at the end of this chapter you realized that in our face, on our face, only one bone is movable, that is known as lower jaw. Yes, ear bones are also movable. Remaining all bones are immobile. So we can move limbs, jaws, eyelids, tongue, etc. Fine. Some of the movement result in change in the place or location. So some movements are there, they change the position of the place or location. Such voluntary movements are locomotion. That's why I have written here the locomotion is voluntarily, whereas movement is involuntary as well as voluntary. Walking, running, climbing, flying, swimming, all are the examples of locomotory movements. Locomotory structures need not be different from those affecting other types of the movement. Here, the animal shows the movement as well as locomotion cannot have the specific different movement for that system and for locomotion that particular system. Majority the structure responsible for movement as well as locomotion that also include in other function also. Fine. See, for example, in paramecium, cilia helps in the movement of the food through cytopharynx and in locomotion as well. So in paramecium, cilia is responsible for capturing the food as well as it is responsible for locomotion. Hydra can use its tentacles for capturing its prey and also use them for locomotion. We use limbs for change in the body posture and locomotion as well. So body posture means different position of the body. For example, standing, lying, sitting, the different types of body position, that is known as body posture. The above observations suggest that movement and locomotion cannot be studied separately. Okay, so other study state that movement is close correspond with the locomotion as well as locomotion is close correspond with the movement. Okay, the two may be linked by stating that all locomotions, underline please, all locomotions are movements but all movements are not locomotion. Fine. Method of locomotion performed by animals vary with their habitat and demand of the situation. So, locomotion is depends on the demand and according to the habitat it is seen. However, locomotion is generally for which are the purpose of locomotion? Search the food, shelter. Suppose example on echinodermata bodies, spicules are there. Spicules, or we say that thorny structures are there. So some organism enter inside the echinodermata body and protect themselves. Take the shelter. Shelter मतलब आश्रो ले. Fine. Mat for copulation. Suitable breeding grounds. favorable climate condition, or to escape from enemies or predators. So this is about the introduction of locomotion and movement. I hope you understand this. Now, the types of movement. Majorly here, three types of movement are there. Three types of movement are there. Fine. Amoeboid movement, ciliary movement, and muscular movement. Let us discuss in detail of each and every one by one in detail. Fine. First is amoeboid movement. You know that according to this name, you think about that the organism move like amoeba. So here amoeboid movement, yes, it is seen in amoeba itself. Fine. It is seen in amoeba itself. You know that in amoeba, cytoplasm movement is there, and due to the movement of the cytoplasm, the outermost layer comes out, and that is known as long leg or known as pseudopodia. And with the help of it, it moves from the one place to another place. So, amoeba is irregular in shape. So, there is no any particular structure present in the amoeba for locomotion and movement. So, irregular movement is there. Fine, formation by pseudopodia. But one thing I want to tell you, yes, leukocytes or WBCs. Every second, each and every part of our body is protected. Every second, each and every part of our body is protected by immunity power. Majority, we say that WBCs or leukocytes are soldiers of the body. So, leukocytes or WBCs are transferred through intercellular space between the two successive cells. Actively. Yes, so in between the two successive cells, the gap is there, known as intercellular space. So here what happened, each and every WBC are irregular in shape. Each and every WBCs are irregular in shape. but they are traveled through the intercellular space between the two successive cells and protect it. For example, if any cell has any type of pathogen or antigen, so with the help of these leukocytes, that pathogens can be killed. In this way, our body got the protection. So in amoeboid movement, you have to remember these two things, but majorly you have to remember these leukocytes or WBCs. Now, second is ciliary movement. Yes, you know that by cilia. Ciliary movement, we say that by cilia. In paramecium, you know that at the body surface, on the whole body surface, cilia is there. Cilia are there, so due to that cilia, paramecium move from one place to another place, as well as it captured the food. See, in different parts of our body, we have ciliated epithelium. For example, trachea. In trachea, we have cilia. So, ciliary movement is unidirectional and in a unique manner. How? So, this cilia move uniquely, transfer the molecule into one direction only. For example, we are doing breathing. So during inspiration, O2 goes in. So due to the cilia, O2 goes in to the lungs. And due to reverse movement, CO2 comes out. As well as any type of the pathogenic particle, foreign particle, it enters inside the trachea, so it releases the mucus and infected sputum or cough, આને ગરફો કહેવાય, કફ કહેવાય, and any type of infection is there in the trachea, it releases the mucus secretion and that is also released by ciliary movement from the trachea. So during coughing mechanism, we remove the cough or sputum, that is facilitated by cilia. Fallopian tube or oviduct, just both the side of the uterus in female. Oviduct or fallopian duct or uterine tube is there. So it is useful for transfer the ova. But in fallopian tube, cilia do the movement in such a way that it captured the ovum from the ovary and transferred it towards the uterus. It captured or received the ova from the ovary and transferred it towards the uterus, but not in the reverse direction. Fine. So in fallopian tube or fallopian duct, ova is there. Fine. So that is moved by cilia. Vasa deferentia. It is seen in the male human being. It transfers the sperms in the accessory reproductive glands towards that, and helpful for the formation of semen also. Yes, these are very, very important. Ear canal. So in ear canal or auditory tube, we have cilia, and due to the cilia present inside it, the air is filtered. Air is filtered. Any type of foreign particle is present in the air, it can be filtered by this cilia. Any foreign particle is coming in contact with this cilia, it has connected mucus gland, so it secretes the mucus, sticky material, and escape or prevent the entry of the foreign particle into further inside of the ear. You know that for hearing we require air. So sound waves are passing through the air enter inside the ear, and then in air sound waves are there. Fine, can coming in contact with the eardrum, vibration occur, and then we hear this sound. Okay, so in ear canal, the air is filtered. Same nasal chamber. All of us required oxygen to live. So in nasal chamber, nasal hair is there. Fine. So nasal hair filter the air, warm the air, and prevent the entry of the antigen or foreign particle inside the respiratory tract. So these are the examples of the ciliary movement. Now, muscular movement. Muscle is a tissue. Muscle is a tissue. Each and every organism cannot show the muscles. In some animals, muscles are only present, muscles are not connected to the bones. But in our body, muscles are closely related with the bone. Muscles are attached with the bone. So you imagine that without muscles, we are unable to move the joint. And without the joint, we are unable to move the muscles. So in the joint movement occurs, and in muscles movement occurs. As a result, movement and locomotion both are seen in the body. Some organisms shows the very primitive type of the muscular system in their body. Due to the group of the muscles, animal perform the movement as well as locomotion. But in higher animals, the muscular system is closely attached with the skeletal system and form the very complex network with nervous system. So our muscles are connected to the bones. Muscles and bones are connected to the nervous system. So as a result, when I will tell you that you make a heading that muscle, so for that you know what is heading and how I have to write the muscle, and muscle is the meaning that, fine. So your brain gives the message to the upper limb. If you are righty, then it gives the message to the right hand. If you are lefty, then it gives the message to the left hand. And in this way you make the heading like that. So each and every muscles of our body, yes, in our body we have three types of muscles that we will discuss in the next lecture. But we have three types of the muscles: voluntary muscles, involuntary muscles. But this both the muscles are going to be tired. And third, which is never tired, non-fatigable cardiac muscle. So we have three types of muscles. So our nervous system is connected to it. To obtain the oxygenated blood and to remove the carbon dioxide containing blood from the muscle, muscle is connected, closely connected to the circulatory system. So muscular system, skeletal system, circulatory system, nervous system, all are correspond together and form a very complex structure and network like phenomenon to complete the movement as well as locomotion in the animal. Okay, so this is about the third type of the movement, muscular movement. So actually here I can stop now, but afterwards the type of the movement you read from the textbook, easy information is given there. But in next lecture we will learn the types of muscles, skeletal muscle, how the skeletal muscle is contracted. Two types of muscles are there in organisms, red muscles and white muscles, that we will learn that. And after completion of that muscular system, we will focus on the skeletal system. Skeletal system, the number of bones are present in different parts of our body, their numbers, their names, fine, and the location. And at the end of this chapter, we will learn the disorders of the skeletal and muscular system. Fine. So, thank you very much to all. Hope you understand this much portion. Fine. So here I can stop now.